This is Richard McGuire, reporter-photographer with the Osoyoos Times. Sue McKortoff has now served more than 3/4 of her first term as Osoyoos Mayor. She was first elected to council in 2011. Before that, she was an elementary school teacher in Osoyoos for more than 3 decades, and it sometimes seems that she taught just about everybody who grew up in Osoyoos during that time. I sat down with her to ask her about what council has accomplished in the past year and what we can look forward to in the year ahead. Okay, Sue, so looking back at 2017, what do you think were council's biggest what was council's biggest accomplishment?
I think that we listened to the electorate. We listened to people. We tried to be very open-minded, and I think that was a very positive move on our part. We listened to people wanting to have not only a dog park but a baseball diamond, and we tried to figure out how we could best accomplish that. We have an open budget meeting, which is also again on the 18th of January, and quite often people will come in with some very good ideas that we might not have thought of, and if possible we try and see if it fits in with our budget. So we've done a lot of budget planning, but we're certainly not finished yet. So we had the grand opening of the fire hall this year, which was a huge accomplishment to get all that done and organized. We're right on track with the affordable near market housing, and we hope to have an open house very soon on that. So that's a positive move. We had a lot of things to deal with this year. The floods, which I think we dealt with very well. The accommodating people, helping them with sandbags, getting provincial help, that type of thing. And then we had a drought, and that causes a great deal of concern. So I think our biggest accomplishment is that we listened to people and we paid attention to what was needed in this town.
Okay, and later in 2018 we'll face a new municipal election. Do you plan to seek another 4-year term?
I do. At this point I'm healthy. I've thoroughly enjoyed this the last 3 years. I've got good health, I've got the time, I've got the energy, and it's a huge learning curve, and I'm still learning and wanting to do what's best for the town. I'm a volunteer at heart, and this is partly a volunteer activity, and I would like to do it again.
Do you personally support the expansion of council?
That's an issue that I can see both sides of. I'm not sure that it's the best use of $50,000. I think there's a lot of other things that we might use in a better way. I think the 5 of us, and I realize that the problem is that sometimes not all 5 of us are there. But for instance, this month, CJ is away, but I do know that he phones in. So that even while he's not sitting at the table, he's participating. So I think that the 5 of us have a wide range of ideas and opinions and backgrounds on things. And I think people are getting their money's worth listening to all 5 of us. So, and we do have 2 water councillors. And while they only vote on water issues, either we make better use of the water councillors, and that's easier said than done, I understand. Or I'm just not sure whether this would work or not, but I can certainly see both sides of it. There will be a discussion on the 15th about it.
What do you think council will be most engaged in 2018?
Well, I think there's 2 things. One is the health issue, and we do have, as you know, we got $100,000 from the Rural Dividend Fund to have a look at the health issues in this town. And we have asked, or the CAO has asked several of the local doctors to be, and Erin Freegon as well, who's a member of the, she's the lady that I deal with in with the rural health practice, very well known, Division of Family Practice, that's what I'm trying to say. And we are assuming that a meeting will be held within the next 2 weeks to come up with the terms of reference so that we can hire somebody to come in, look at all the health issues in town, look at the buildings, look at what we have, how to make best use of them, and interview doctors, pharmacists, physio, local people. And so that's a positive, I think. That's going to happen very soon this month. And I'm also on the rural health initiative, and that is, I continue to do that once a month as well. So that's all part of it. And the other thing is, of course, the Aquatic Center study that we're looking at. And you know, it was a huge issue back before I got on council, and there was a thought to even have a referendum and ask people if they would like to pay for it. And it didn't get to that stage, is my understanding, because they realized that it was just going to be too expensive. So for a small town, it's a very expensive enterprise, because not only building the facility, but maintaining it. And so that's why you find places like Trail, which have, you know, has Cominco that offers money towards it, towards their facility. But the fact that we have come up with a plan to use Oliver, Osoyoos, the Osoyoos Indian Band, Area A and Area C, and look at a joint venture on this, I think is amazing. It's whether it'll happen or not, I mean, we're still at those planning stages, but at least we can all work together, look at, and a fund has been applied for in all our names, and we need to look at that and see whether that would be a feasible activity to put on, how much it would cost, how it would impact all of the people in Osoyoos, Oliver, in the regional district, in the Osoyoos Indian Band, and if that's a good thing, and it's feasible and it's acceptable to our residents, and they will certainly have a say in it, then it seems to me the best use of.
What kind of a facility would you like to see?
Well, it would have to be something that would be accessible for everybody. So presumably somewhere in between Oliver, Osoyoos, so that all the residents would be able to get to it. It would, my thinking is that it might be a pool complex, you know, with hot tubs, changing rooms, covered. But we really don't know. We'd have to wait for the study to have a look at all the options.
Okay, we sometimes see complaints on social media about how much council is spending. Some of it maybe actually relates to funding that's under the Resort Municipality Initiative, but people don't always understand the difference. How is council being fiscally responsible in your view?
Absolutely. I think we're very responsible. We're in a very good place. We're not in debt. We never have to use the loan that we have. We have to have the ability to borrow money. That's never happened from the bank for ongoing issues, not for specific things. We do that. I think we are a model community. I think we are very, very careful about spending our money. We look at things, we debate things, we figure out how can we best use the money that we have. And one of our big things is looking at infrastructure, roads, sewer, water, sidewalks. Those are all big issues that we try and deal with anytime we look at spending money. Oh, I think we're in very good shape, and I think we're very responsible.
What would you like to see happen in 2018 regarding Rcmp funding?
Well, that's an ongoing issue because we actually are in the process of still dealing with the provincial government and with the Rcmp We have a new sergeant here, Sergeant Beta. We also have a new corporal here. And one of the things that we wanted was sort of a full complement of Rcmp officers for this area, and I think we're at that now. And we work closely with Sergeant Beta and the Rcmp. They come in and have meetings with us every once in a while. We also work with the superintendent, Ted DeYager, who's in Penticton, and he's very positive at looking at the whole region. We've asked for a recount, as you know, for the census, because at the time that they took the census, our school was shut down. It was slated to close. So we question whether we were over 5,000 on that particular date. We have not heard back from them yet, and we hope to hear back, or we assume we may hear back by July of this year. So it takes a while. So we are still, it's an ongoing talk, and we are still working with the Rcmp.
Okay, this council and previous councils has been supportive of talks to establish a national park reserve in the South Okanagan. How do you feel about the recent moves by senior levels of government and the ONA?
You know what, we have always supported the national park down here. That last council and this council, we continue to support this. We think it would be good for the area. I think that it all being green and green initiatives and looking after the environment, it's one step. I realize that there are various issues that people have brought up, but I think we've proven, not we, but the provincial government, the federal government, that they can be dealt with, and we can come up with compromise. Compromise is a word that I use a lot because I think it's very important to look at all the issues, and you cannot just go left or right. You usually have to come up with some kind of a compromise. So I was very pleased. I happened to be in Ottawa at the time, so I wasn't here for that announcement, but I think that it's looking very positive.
Okay, is there anything else you'd like to say about the direction that council is taking in the new year?
No, I think we will just continue to listen to people, to work hard, to do what's best for the town of Osoyoos and its residents, because this is the best place on earth to live. Canada's warmest welcome, and we're all, when I read on social media people saying they put pictures on there and they say, wow, isn't this a fabulous place? And you know, I just smile and say, I agree.